Hi, welcome to Everything Stitching. In this video, I am going to walk you guys through how to make a very basic, beginner-friendly granny square. I'm going to walk you through each and every step. I've realized I've posted quite a few granny square videos that are a little bit more in-depth and not as beginner friendly as like a super basic beginner friendly granny square. So that's what we're going to do today, and I'm going to actually show you how to make a granny square without even doing a magic circle, magic ring, whatever you like to call it, because I do know there are a lot of you that are struggling to do a magic ring, or you just don't like making them. So I'm actually going to show you guys how to make a granny square without making a magic ring. So what you're going to need is a medium weight yarn, which is 4. And then since it is a beginner friendly granny square, I'm actually going to be using a 6mm crochet hook, but use what is comfortable for you. If you like using a 4mm or a 5, 5.5, 6, I mean, whatever's comfortable for you. Even if you want to use it on a 7, we're learning how to do a granny square right now. So do what's comfortable for you. And then of course you're always going to want scissors and a stitch marker. But let's get started. Like I said, instead of making our magic ring like we would, we're actually going to make this granny square without it. So I'm going to walk you through that. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to chain 3. So first you need to actually make a slip knot. Everyone makes their slip knot a little bit differently. I'll show you how I make mine. So you're basically just going to make a loop, okay? And then in that loop, you're going to pull your yarn through it. And then it makes a loop that moves, and that is a slip knot. So go ahead and tighten it onto your hook, okay? And then we're going to just leave our tail. And then with our working yarn, we're going to hold that and we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. This is going to count as our first double crochet of this round, okay? Just so you're all aware. Now in the 3rd chain from the hook, we're going to do 2 double crochets into that, and that's going to make our first cluster. So 1, 2, 3. So double crochet is you yarn over, put your hook inside that 3rd chain from the hook, yarn over and pull up. You're going to have 3 on your hook. You're going to yarn over and only pull through the first 2 since this is a double crochet. That's going to leave you with 2. You're going to yarn over and then pull through the remaining 2, and there you have completed your first double crochet. Now we're going to go ahead and make another one because we need to have 2. So yarn over, put your hook inside. Oops. There we go. Yarn over, pull through the first 2. Yarn over and pull through the remaining 2. So you have 2 double crochets and your chain 3, which counts as your first double crochet. So technically this is our first double crochet cluster. Some people will call it a shell. That's what you've created just here. Now we're going to chain 2. 1, 2, which made our first corner. And now we're going to do 3 double crochets into that same space that we've been working in, okay? So as you can see, we are creating our granny square without even making a magic circle. And instead, we used a chain. Now you can make this granny square with a magic circle instead, and that's not a problem at all. But since I'm making this beginner friendly, I really wanted to show you guys how to do it without doing a magic circle. So now that we did our second cluster, we're going to chain 2 again to make our second corner of the granny square, and then we're going to do the exact same thing that we've been doing, is in that same space do 3 double crochets. Okay, that was our third cluster. Now we're going to chain 2 to make another corner. And then we're going to do 3 double crochets into that same space again. Okay, so now you can see we've finished our first row of the granny square. So now what we need to do is complete it, okay? So we did our last cluster, and now we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to slip stitch it into the top of our chain 3 that we had in the beginning. So what you're going to want to do is insert your hook at the top of the chain 3, yarn over, pull it through, and then also pull it through the loop that's on your hook, and that's how you do a slip stitch. And that closed off the round. So now we have our first round of our granny square that we were able to complete without making a magic circle. Pretty cool, right? I love it. Okay, so now that we've completed round 1, we're going to turn our work and we're going to actually slip stitch into our first corner in order to get started in our corner, because that's what we're going to be doing for round 2 is working in all of our corners. Okay, so now that we've slip stitched into our corner, we're going to do 3 double crochets. And if I'm going too quick, feel free to pause the video and work on it. You can even slow down the video in the settings of on YouTube. Okay, so we did our 3 double crochets into the corner. Now we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets all the way over here in the next corner. So like I said, we're working in corners for round 2. Remember, this is beginner friendly, so we're not working each stitch in the granny square, which most granny squares, or a lot of them, are. But since it's a beginner friendly one, we're not. So we're skipping all of this with a chain 2 space, okay? Okay, now what we're gonna do is we are gonna chain 2, because we're making another corner, right? And then do 3 more double crochets into that same corner space that we're working in. And that's what we're gonna do for this entire round 2, is every corner is gonna have 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets. So see, we made our corner. Then you're gonna chain 2, 1, 2, and then you're gonna move all the way to the next corner and do that same pattern again. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, until we get back to that first corner where we've only made half of the corner, remember? Okay, so now we are making it back to that first corner. So I wanted to show you guys what to do here. So we're going to chain 2 like we have been doing. Go ahead and do 3 double crochets into that corner. And then we've already done the other 3 double crochet. So we're actually going to do only half of this corner. So we've got our 3 double crochets that we just made. Then we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to slip stitch it to the top of the first double crochet of the round. So that finished it off. So see how awesome this is turning out, and we didn't even use a magic circle. We're chaining, double crocheting. We're not working in every single stitch of the round. We're skipping them with chains. We're making this easy peasy, right? Okay, so now we're gonna work on round 3 of the granny square. This is gonna be the final round of this granny square if you decide to stop here. Okay, so we're gonna do the same like we did on the last row, where we turn our work and we slip stitch into our corner to get started. And let's go ahead and make our first double crochet of the round. So it's the same thing, right? Where we're going to do 3 double crochets in this corner, which is going to be the first half of this corner. And my skein of yarn is just rolling in my way. Hold on. Let me get it out of the way. Okay. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, so we did the first part of this corner. Now we're going to chain 2. And then we're going to do 3 double crochets into this next chain 2 space. So that first row, we went into the first corner, right? But we have to go into the chain 2 space first, okay? So we're going to do another double crochet cluster or shell, depending on what you want to call it, which is basically 3 double crochets into the same stitch or the same space. Okay, so we did that. Then we're going to chain 2 again. And then we're going to make our corner the same exact way that we made it on round 2, where we're going to make 3 double crochets and then we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then we're going to do 3 more double crochets. So that's the whole pattern of round 3, is just doing 3 double crochets into each chain 2 space that is not a corner. Then you're going to chain 2 in between to get to your corners, and then 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. And you just do that the whole round 3. Now, like I said, this particular tutorial, I am ending it on round 3 to show you how to make it super beginner friendly, right? But if you wanted to continue to make this granny square larger, whether you're making it one giant massive granny square and just making a blanket out of it, a purse out of it, a throw pillow cover because it's just a square, whatever the case may be, just keep going with this exact pattern until you get to the size that you want. So for instance, if you were to do round 4, each of these chain 2 spaces, you would be doing 3 double crochet clusters into them, and then you're doing chain 2 space in between. So that's how you're going to continue to grow it. And just make sure that your corners always have 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and that's it. I mean, it's super simple, which is what the whole point was, right? So then you just chain 2, slip stitch into that first stitch of the round, and you finish your granny square. You are also going, depending on what project you're making, you're most likely going to want to block out this granny square. I do have a video on how to block granny squares, so feel free to check out that video, and I walk you guys through a couple of different ways to do it, and the most easiest way of doing it, which is most important, right? What everybody wants. So that's how you make a granny square. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and even if you're not a beginner, this is a really fun granny square to make. Any granny square is worth it to make because they can look so different from each other even though you're using very similar stitches. So it's really fun and interesting, and it's great to see what creations you can come up with. So Thank you for watching. Thank you for following along. Feel free to comment below if you have questions about this or any other questions or ideas about different videos to come. I actually ended up ordering a few crochet items off of the website or the app Temu or Temu, depending on however you say it, T-E-M-U. I know people say it different ways, but anyways, I ended up ordering a few crochet items off of it. Once that comes in, I'm definitely going to do a haul and show you guys what I got and if I end up liking it and stuff, because oh my gosh, their crochet stuff is so cheap on there. So I don't know if that equates to really cheap products as well, or if it's gonna be actually good. So I will do a haul once all that comes in to show you guys what I got and if I like it or not. Okay, well anyways, thanks so much for watching, you guys. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.